This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I see sometimes people talk about some things. And listen, whether we're expecting a good season or not, I'm not necessarily expecting a good season, but there are a lot of good things about the team. I do love their front seven on defense. Obviously their secondary is probably going to be a mess. They're going to depend on their front seven to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I mean, Chubb and Phillips must stay healthy in a big time way. They're injury prone. Those two guys in Chop have to be really, really special this year because that's secondary. But I do love the front seven. I do. Even though I'm not a big McDaniel believer at all whatsoever, I do love Weaver. I think he's a fantastic coach, and he did the best he could and did a damn good job with no real pressure last year because he didn't have a lot of pass rushers, and poor Chop was by himself, a rookie learning, and nobody on the other side to help him and take some pressure off. This year it should change. So there are things to like about this team. There are things to be concerned. Even the offensive line depth. The offensive line, it looks like it has potential as the starters, but they still have to put it together. And the depth of it is also kind of a question mark, right? There are things. Now, you got your top two receivers. You hope they come in focused and all that good stuff. But remember, a lot of people talk about the number 3 wide receiver. Let me tell you something. Chris Greer gave Mike McDaniel the best options he's ever had for number 3 wide receiver. And if you're Tua, as long as you got an offensive coordinator, which you really don't, unfortunately, that can help you, spread the ball around and all that good stuff. Well, it took him over a month to get Jonnu going. By week 5 is when he started really getting Jonnu Smith going. So that's going to be a number 3 option. But in the sense of the traditional number 3, Malik Washington comes back with a lot of experience from last year. He's tough. I love him, man. I know he had a little bit of ups and downs there, but he's a rook. He'll be fine. He'll learn. The Nick Westbrook, a kind kid, I love that pickup. He had shitty quarterbacks last year, and he caught 32 balls for 497 yards and 9 touchdowns, 60 targets, and he got 32 of them with a shitty quarterback that was probably off target on a bunch of those. He averaged 50.5 yards per catch. He's got a much better passer this year. If they give him time, this kid can make an impact. So can Malik. You have lots of options at 3. And then there's the Eskridge kid and Azukama. Who knows if anything happens with them. Remember the Taj Washington kid from USC. Okay, he was kind of flashing a little bit. He gets in the mix. And then you got the tight ends. Like I told you with Jonnu Smith. And then, of course, Julian Hill. Julian Hill's got a ton of talent. Now makes a lot of freaking boneheaded mistakes. Let's see if that's youth and inexperience, and we'll see if he gets through that this year. I know they signed the Farrell Brown kid, and we'll see, and Tanner Connor and all of that, but at least with Jonnu, that becomes another option. Then we'll see what happens. I think Farrell can be a better number 2 than anything you had last year. But the real wild card is Julian because he's got all the freaking talent to be a starter in the NFL. But again, he can't keep making all the stupid mistakes. So whether Monterey Baldwin or Andrew Armstrong, those undrafted, free agent wide receivers, I don't know. And then you've got the running backs. So Achane is going to catch passes. So if you want to look at him as another option at number 3. So if you got to go through 3 progressions, man, there's a lot of options to fill that number 3 and even number 4. If you start throwing running backs and tight ends and third receivers, you got options because Wright should be able to catch passes. Alexander Madison can catch passes. Oh, and by the way, the Ollie kid, he actually caught 80 balls in 3 years. And in his last 2 years, he caught 39 2 years ago and 29 this past year, 330 2 years ago, 179 last year, a touchdown each way. He averaged 8.5 yards per catch 2 years ago and 6.2 this year. So all of a sudden, the Ollie Gordon kid can also catch passes. You've got the number 3 option to number 4 for the Miami Dolphins is the best it's ever been. Now, it's up to the chef in the kitchen to make it all happen and make it come together. But if you are smart, you're not only depending on Waddle and Tyreek. That way you also, since they can't handle a burnout situation, you know what I mean? They got to take plays off and all that crap. You need to get all these people involved. You need to find out, okay, besides Jonnu, is there another guy here? Okay, we know you got the top 2 guys. All right, Malik, have you made that progress? All right, well then, where's the Icon kid, Nick kid? He's going to be, and he's a big target. Jonnu, big target. The Icon kid, big target. Ollie, big running back. So get these things involved also. Okay? That way you're also harder to tackle and you're bigger in those situations too, because your outside receivers aren't big guys. You don't want them taking punishment. So I just want you, because there's a lot of talk and sometimes even a concern about it. I actually feel really good about that. Okay. Again, I don't know. To me, it's all about the coach, and I don't buy him. But I buy the number 3 option for the Miami Dolphins. They've got a whole bunch of them. And 3 or 4, at no point should Tua, unless we get injury riddled completely, but at no point should Tua lack options out there. And at no point should that coach lack options to create things for everyone and for your quarterback. Give him options. Don't force him to throw to 2 guys on a consistent basis. And I think that's what they did in the front office this offseason. They gave him extra weapons so you can help the quarterback, but it's up to the head coach / offensive coordinator to design it properly so we can all have a good meal.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.